And then I saw a screenshot with 18 mil at the peak.
Is this going to break Solana? And basically the consensus was
definitely a project I would be watching right now. I think they are doing very, very well.
Welcome to the dark side.
Exactly. Welcome to Sol Brothers, ladies and gentlemen, with myself, Simon, and my dear friend Eno, where it is our job to throw you guys into the Solana rabbit hole. And we're going to show you around in our exciting ecosystem here.
Our mission is to keep you up to date with the latest and greatest in the Solana ecosystem so that you never run out of fun things to talk about with the homies. Hey, Simon, how are you today?
I'm good, Eno. I had some nice Christmas dinners and lunches in the past days. Yeah, a little bit of a different daily routine, right? During the holidays always. But I've been in the trenches. I've collected a lot of things we can talk about today, because crypto doesn't do any holidays. Crypto Twitter keeps spitting out news every single day that we can cover. So I'm pretty excited that we're on the pod again, because it's been, I think, 10 days, that we that we talked here. Yeah. How are you today? How are you holidays?
Just finishing up my Christmas vacation with the wife, currently in Napa Valley in California. Wow. I was so pleasantly surprised and happy to come to the Sol Brothers podcast, and you filled it out with so many cool things to talk about. Yeah. And I was like, oh shit, thank you so much, Simon. I was stressing out a little bit about the Sol Brothers pep.
No, for sure. I every time I see something interesting on Twitter or everywhere, I just put a quick note in my notepad, because there's a lot we can cover, and we'll do it again today. So let's kick it off with a quick overview on the markets. Take a quick look at the Sol price. We're right now trading at $193. We've been going sideways now since pre-Christmas days, so since the 19th, 18th of December. We've been trading in the range between $175 and $200. People right now are saying that once we cross the $202 level, the doors might open again for upwards momentum. It looks pretty bullish in the daily chart, not too dangerous in my opinion. There's still I think kind of a 30-40% chance that we see further dips here. But I think we can make January a good month. Historically speaking, looking back, January usually was a green month for crypto overall. Obviously, the history doesn't really tell us anything about the future, but there are patterns in the markets, right? People are coming back from holidays. The new year starts. There's kind of a psychological positive momentum in the markets overall. Then we have a lot of news in the US coming up as well. So it could be an interesting month. Next month in January. Right now, it's the 30th of December, actually, at the time of this recording, at the time of this live stream. And yeah, what should I say? Zooming out in the Solana chart as well tells me that we are pretty much in following the thesis that I've put on this chart since many months ago, which is right now we're in a corrective wave to the downside. We hit a level that is, according to Fibonacci levels, at least a good resistance. We could turn around here, technically. Also in the hourly chart, I think if I remember correctly, the setup is not too bad. Kind of a W setup here in this correction, where breakout to the upside as well might be possible. And then last thing I want to touch on as well is the Bitcoin dominance, because this can also tell us a little bit about a potential alt season, which can pull Solana upwards as an altcoin next to Bitcoin. And we've seen a first correction in the Bitcoin dominance, hitting the 55% BTC-D level already. A quick recovery to the upside, but no real impulsive push that points out new highs in the Bitcoin dominance. And now we could see a further push downwards. So this next leg to the downside in the Bitcoin dominance chart, that could bring us down to 50%-ish. That could be basically what we can call the altcoin season, which could happen in the first quarter, second quarter of 2025. Obviously, a lot of predictions and assumptions here that I'm throwing at everyone, but I think that's what people want to hear, just to try to make some sense of the markets here. Any comments?
I've never seen this metric before in my life. What the fuck is that? Bitcoin dominance?
It's a very important metric, but it basically tells us how much market cap of the total crypto market cap is dominated by the Bitcoin price, right? So the higher the BTCD, the higher the Bitcoin dominance is, the more Bitcoin is basically capturing the market share right now in crypto.
Right.
It usually it indicates altcoin seasons, because once it goes down, it means other coins are recovering, right? Ethereum, Solana, and all the altcoins are recovering in market cap compared or versus.
Interesting. I've never thought about it in those terms, like kind of what percentage of the market is Bitcoin, and like how would that affect the prices of altcoins in general? That's nifty. That's nifty.
Liquidity is circulating around, right? So either we have new liquidity entering the space and everything goes up. That's usually what happens in bull markets. But then the second phenomenon that can happen is also just a circulation of the liquidity from big assets to smaller assets, where people usually take Bitcoin profits and then they circle into the smaller coins for higher chances to profit again, right? So far so good for the markets. So bottom line, Solana is down week over week, but we're still following a bullish chart if you zoom out. So my bottom line right now here is out of the chart sometimes. And to assure that we're not in a bear market or something, even if it feels like it, but we've literally just been trading 10 days sideways. That's all that happened right now. Nothing.
I mean, this is what's so great about spot and chill is if you invested in Solana at any point in the last year, except for, I don't know, if you're completely new to the space, you've made money, right? And you haven't had to worry about, getting close to your liquidation prices. I don't know if you play with perps, but
I do.
But it's very good to see. Solana is so healthy these days. And speaking of which, Bonk, the meme coin is going to be burning. It says a 1 trillion Bonk over here, but in our notes, internally, it says 1.69 trillion. Do you know the story behind this? Like, what? How many trillions is Bonk going to be burning?
Well, I saw it. A few people reporting the 1.69 million number. I think it might, they might adapt the number a little bit. So it will be at least a trillion. But I don't know exactly what happened at the end of the decision. But I think the message is clear, right? Like whatever the number is, the message is clear. More than almost $50 million worth of Bonk is being
you're right.
during BURNmas. Do you see it?
Yes, 1.69 trillion. Number. You are correct.
What do you say to that?
$50 million worth of Bonk. That's insane.
Bullish for the chart?
Yeah, I mean that's what I think makes the Bonk team so special compared to other meme coin teams is they focus a lot on the DeFi aspect and like what DeFi mechanisms can they create that will create like natural buy pressure for the token. So BonkBot is a famous example of this, where all the fees for BonkBot are used to burn Bonk, which is amazing. Such an innovative concept. But it's not just Bonk that we have. In terms of token updates, USDS Sky, formerly known as DAI, has issued over 100 million on Solana. So that's pretty insane. Any thoughts on the increase in USDS's market cap?
I think it's always, you're the guy, right, to talk about stablecoins with your history. But I think from my point of view, it is always one of the most healthiest metrics you can gather for a crypto ecosystem. Stablecoin TVL going up, right? So I think having more stablecoin TVL on Solana in general is a good thing. USDS is kind of a new kid on the block, I would say. I think we first mentioned them a few weeks back when they did the whole rebranding and moved to Solana. And seeing them grow is a bullish sign. Is 100 million TVL a lot? Do you have any opinions on that?
100 million TVL is a lot. Yeah. Even in the context of like you can look at like Tether, that's like sitting over $1 billion, several $1 billion TVL. Then you might be like,
I have the numbers here. So to give you like some perspectives, I just read them out. So right now USDS is sitting again at 95. So we've crossed 100 mil. Right now we're sitting at 95 according to DeFi Llama. And then we have Ondo US dollar yield, interestingly. And in the place above that with 107. And then we have the PYUSD, PayPal's stablecoin, at 177 mil. And then we have Tether at 911 and USDC at 3.8 billion, which is also very interesting because USDC is dominating the Solana ecosystem a lot, while Tether is the much larger asset multi-chain, right? Like I think Tether has still much more TVL if you look at the global ranking.
Yeah. No, the historical reasons for that are fascinating, right? So the old way of bootstrapping stablecoin TVL was to be the main stablecoin for SEX, right? So like for Tether, it was Bitfinex, as well as like all the first exchanges online. And for Circle, it was USD. It was FTX. FTX heavily promoted USDC along with the Solana ecosystem, and so it was kind of like the success of the Solana ecosystem meant the success of USDC. USDC in the past was actually much higher in TVL, but unfortunately with the kind of the black swan event with SVB, it really shook confidence in the token, especially from institutional investors. So anyways, with that, all that context, that being said, 100 million in supply for USDS. Even though it's smaller than PayPal USD, I actually think it's healthier growth. Where Pi USD was closer to like 400 million on Solana, and then it dipped down to 177 million because they cut the incentives off so quickly. So I think that the growth for USDS is more organic and healthier.
Yeah, I mean, at the peak, PYUSD was definitely like 3-4 times as much as right now. So lots happening there, but it's really interesting. I'm not gonna lie. Like Tether normally sits at 80 billion global, like, and throughout all ecosystems, versus USDC at 5 billion. And then obviously USDS still has a bit of a catch up to do at these numbers. But overall for the Solana ecosystem, a good thing that we have new stablecoins that get a lot of attraction in TVL. We need more money on chain, and that's what Staples help us to do, right? So good thing.
In other exciting news, right? Like we have announcements from the Jupiter team on JUPuary. I think you're much more in tune with what's going on with JUPuary. So do you mind sharing a little bit of what's going on?
For sure. So they did their, how do they call the calls? It was their rally.
It was like a JUPuary rally call. Yeah, it was like a rally.
Yeah. So 1 hour 40 minutes or something. Kash and Meow were live streaming as well. I looked a little bit into it. I watched some parts as well. So it was really well produced stream, and they walked us through all the things regarding the JUPuary, which is the upcoming airdrop of JUP token to ecosystem participants, and 700 million JUP are about to be distributed. I think one of the larger airdrops in the Solana ecosystem, for sure. That just happen, during the process of a project. So it's not even, a lot of projects, they do 1 season, 2 seasons at the beginning, and that's about it. But JUP keeps giving back, which is very much the crypto ethos. 700 million JUP equals more than $700 million worth of airdrops. So that's definitely a significant amount that's being distributed to accounts here. And so some basic facts that are right now causing a little bit of discussions in the broader ecosystem are basically how the mechanics have been decided for this airdrop. So first of all, from the 700 million kind of bucket, 500 mil will be distributed to users of Jupiter and stakers. Not equally. The majority goes to users, and then a smaller portion goes to stakers, which is basically the amount is going to be fixed per wallet, going to be calculated fixed per wallet in a tiered system. So that's another thing that they came up with, which is different than others. So I'm actually just gonna pull it up for people that are looking on YouTube right now. So this is the tier system they came up with. It has 10 tiers, and then depending on the volume range of the wallet that's trading, you get an allocation of the airdrop, right? So more than 5 million in volume would put you in tier 1, which equals a JUP airdrop for that wallet that can be worth 20,000 JUP, so quite a chunky bit. But 5 million volume obviously is also a big trading volume here. But it goes all the way down to tier 10 with $2,500 worth of volume up to 10K for 200 JUP allocation. So yeah, the idea is to make the distribution more inclusive and fair, reward both smaller accounts and whales, and reduce frustration for users who just barely missed the cutoff for a higher tier. So kind of a balanced approach. I'm just looking at a thread from Airbender that kind of tries to dig deeper a little bit into the whole airdrop that's happening. This tier system and also this kind of, split between 500 mil for users and stakers, and then the other part of the 700 is 200 mil for their carrot system, which is something related to the Jupiter mobile, if I'm not mistaken. And then also for the good cats, so basically core community contributors that are adding value to the ecosystem. Is the tier system incentivizing Sibyls and farmers to just, spin up wallets and farm the lower tiers? Yeah, there's a few, pros and cons to it, but overall, I think Jupiter is always trying to, walk the fine line of making a fair distribution. And I'm looking forward to the event in January. It's a big ass airdrop.
Yeah, no, only Jupiter can do it at this scale. It's kind
like
of insane.
Kicking off the year with a $700 million worth airdrop.
I remember hanging around the team when they for last JUPuary, so the launch of the Jupiter token, and they were so stressed out. They had kind of like these conversation rooms with Toli and Raj and Helios and Austin Federa and like everybody at Foundation. And there was only one question that they were asking themselves, which is this going to break Solana? And basically the consensus was, you don't know. So we're gonna see if we're gonna break Solana.
I mean, it was kind of an exciting time. It's not too long ago, right? Like the whole mock Jup, when this thing started with their kind of trial token going live. I think they had a lot of learnings from there. So there was a lot of good and bad things alike in doing the launch of Jup. But yeah, I actually wanted to mention this throughout this podcast as well. So much stuff happened in the past kind of 24 months. It's insane. Like just 1 year ago, Bonk was the only meme coin. Really, Bonk was like it's been 1 year now. Look, like last December, people were talking about Bonk and trading Bonk, and that was top of mind. Meme coin season didn't even start back then. Jito just airdropped back then. Like 1 year ago, it was a huge Jito airdrop. Like I think that was a big topic going down. And now, look at them, like fully established project. And
speaking of the last 12 months, we have an amazing recap from the Solana channel. So that's absolutely amazing. Like obviously it's been a banner year for Solana. Like as Simon said, like Bonk had just launched 2 years ago, and that was and it took a year for Bonk to really warm up and get to where it was, but after that it's been history from there. So it's been great to witness firsthand for sure.
Yeah, and I think this video, so for everyone who's tuning in for podcast right now, we're sharing a video from Solana channel, the 2024 recap video. So it's like 2 minutes or something, right? I think that's about the length of this video, and it's a really cool rundown for everything that has happened in the past month. Very well done, and we couldn't do a better recap live in this podcast. So for everyone who wants to know like the key highlights that happened in 2024, just take 2 minutes and check out their video, which is really well done. And you will have a good understanding of what happened.
And also in other news, we have a new executive for, I think, the Crypto Council. Do you know what's going on here?
Well, I mean, we already touched on the topic that there's a new crypto SAR, which is not an official role, but David Sachs was announced by Trump to be leading the so-called Crypto Council, right? And the Trump also announced, I think it's been 10 days or something now, that there's like a few more people in the AI and crypto council that are gonna cover these topics on the government level, which is pretty progressive, I think. And just seeing that there's like things are moving, people are installed that are pro crypto, that wanna push this industry forward. That's progress for me. We didn't have that in 2024. So I think that's going to be a good thing in 2025 going forward. Just having people that know their shit about crypto. I hate politicians that are like, oh, this Bitcoin, we should not do that. It's like, what happens if someone hacks the Bitcoin computer and then everyone loses their money? Like, I've literally heard people saying that. I'm like, bro, like you have no idea what Bitcoin is. Like, why do you have an opinion on it? Right. So at least now we have opinionated people with knowledge.
The quantum chip, that might be kind of true, though. There might be like a little bit of truth to that.
Yeah,
a little.
But he didn't. He wasn't referring to the quantum chip. He literally thought there's a computer you can hack and then Bitcoin. Like, it's just people not understanding the concept of blockchain. So, but you have a point. Yeah.
No. I think that your overall point that and we've talked about this in the past, but if you don't know what you're talking about, it's okay. Mm-hmm. By the way, it's fine to not know what you're talking about, but also shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Don't care what you have to say.
Yeah, exactly. So no, I think overall good to see some movements on this front.
Bo Hines as the executive director for digital assets, aka the Crypto Council. I love how whenever they do the messaging for politically, they always call it like digital assets, but whenever they have to talk about it colloquially, of course it's a crypto council. Everyone knows it's a crypto council. But it's kind of like, we can't call this crypto for a while. We're going to call this Web3, and the government can never call it Web3. They're going to just call it digital assets, And on top of market updates, there's always cool product updates from the Solana side.
So Kaito.ai, interestingly or funny enough, Kaito itself is getting a lot of mind share right now on Twitter. Mm-hmm. But what is Kaito? Well, Kaito is trying to help us to see what other things are getting mind share on Twitter in a very easy way. So they have this kind of overview where you can see, okay, what is being discussed right now, and AI XBT is, for example, a very hot topic right now. Obviously, the agent space keeps pushing forward. We should definitely make an episode on agents again sometime soon, because there's a lot of stuff going down there. And with Kaito, you can basically become a certified Yapper. Yapper is their way to call people that are on crypto Twitter with an opinion that's being heard right now and that's being recognized. So they do basically very proper Twitter analysis of accounts and tell us, like who's right now talking about things that people listen to. That's basically what it is. And you can put yourself on that radar and become a Yapper. And there's value being distributed also to Yappers. So, for example, there was an announcement, a Yaps initiative by Kaito.ai. We're distributing all mint proceeds to Yap users. So 150 ETH split across the top 1,000 ranked Yappers. It will lead to more quality content on Twitter, because the way Kaito works is it actually looks at the quality of your comments and the quality of the things you push into crypto Twitter. And if you just write LFG and some smileys all the time, you won't be rated properly there. You won't get a good ranking. The AI is actually basically judging your opinions and the quality and depth of the things you say. I think that's a positive thing that we actually need a lot right now on Twitter, to make sure that we see more quality there, because it aligns incentives again. Like, if people want to be on the Yapper dashboard, if they want to climb up the rank, if they want to extract value from there, they will try to play that game. And that game means I need to put my thoughts, align them properly, and then post, instead of just and send, like a complete degenerate. So it will lead to more high quality content. Overall, last sentence from my side, but it's a topic close to my heart, because they are trying to solve a lot of problems that I'm also trying to solve, which is, incentivizing the right people and incentivizing right behavior in the internet. And that's what Kaito can actually do. I think Kaito can be also used for airdrop distribution to an extent, based on Twitter scores and rankings of Yappers. So I think we'll see some stuff in that corner. Definitely a project I would be watching right now. I think they are doing very, very well. And we'll also take a close look at what we can do with Kaito to improve our product ourselves.
I mean, truly nothing is foolproof when it comes to trying to reduce bot activity. But that being said, tracking things like smart followers is a pretty elegant and simple way of
Yep.
figuring it out, the legitimacy of an account, right? Because
Yep.
the basic logic being, of course, that if you have, let's say 500 accounts that are deemed as smart accounts, right? If they're following you, then it's probably reasonable to assume that if there's a critical mass of smart followers that are following you, that you also qualify as like a real account with something substantive to say, as opposed to like just it is theoretically possible that 500 of your favorite smart accounts are also following a LFG account, but it's also very unlikely. It's good that we have no-brainer features like looking at the smart followers for an account, and determining whether or not you yourself have something valuable to say. Speaking of no-brainer features, we also have a new feature coming out from Solflare called Guards, which gives kind of like that sex security, which I know sounds weird in any other industry.
Cool.
So like you kind of get this security that you would normally get for a sex wallet, for your own self-custody wallet with Solflare. So you will tell the people a little bit more about this new Guards feature from Solflare?
I love it, man. Like, first of all, shout out to Solflare for shipping innovations in the wallet industry, in the wallet sector, because we need to keep innovating on wallets as well, even though they already make a shitload of transactions and money, and they're one of the best businesses on chain. But it's important that they don't get comfy with their position. They need to keep iterating, and safety and security is one of the core things they need to care about. And Guards is basically monitoring external transactions, and then they make sure that nothing suspicious happens there. It will literally step in immediately if someone tries to gain access or makes changes to anything that is wallet related. So basic example, if you're claiming an airdrop, but the transaction behind the smart contract tries to take your soul or scam you in any way, the Solflare Guard system should detect that, warn you, and even block it before it's too late. So the pitch is very straightforward, no surprises, no scams. That's what they say in their thread. So yeah, people can check it out themselves on the Solflare account. On Twitter, they still have a pinned post about the announcement of Solflare Guards, and then you can obviously feel the feature as well active if you're a Solflare user. I just hope everyone doesn't need the feature, because it means you're trying to be scammed to some extent, but at least now we have a system in between that can help you to protect that, because a lot of people did get scammed in crypto because of things like this, malicious contracts that connect you to your wallet. Yeah,
I've always loved the idea of I know there's a term for this, but I obviously don't know what it is, but kind of like expiring signatures, if that makes sense, where it's kind of like you in order for this signature to pass, like it requires a second signature within the next 48 hours, right? And maybe even spaced, like the second signature can't be made until 12 hours later or something like this. But like I love ideas like this, like, and they're so simple to. I mean, actually, I have no experience in implementing this on the smart contract level, but to me, it seems like a very easy to implement, right?
Yeah.
Now, it remains to be seen, like, in what ways because hackers always find ways to mess up a good thing. So obviously, there might be some gotchas in my idea that are obvious to anybody in the cybersecurity space, but to me, maybe it's not so obvious. But yeah, just something as simple as like an expiring signature or something that requires a second signature just makes like so much sense to me.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, overall, security, one of the most important topics. And yeah, shout out to Solflare for helping us to be safer on chain. Cool. There has been some other stuff going on, right? I think maybe one more product launch that we could cover. Not a biggie, in my opinion, not a huge topic. Hasn't been highly discussed on Solana, but just like I just like the idea of it, of what happened there, because it's basically a base product that now migrated to Solana. It's called hire.fun with multiple R's, so hire.fun. And it's an interesting concept as well, where basically you have evolving tokens. So you can create a meme coin that follows on-chain metrics and then evolves based on those on-chain metrics. So you can, for example, set a logic that makes your ticker or your picture of the token, any kind of metadata change when you hit certain market caps, for example. What allows this for community-driven projects to do is basically have campaigns, like have a goal and a campaign to push to that common goal together as a community and say, guys, we need to reach 100 million market cap to reach level 2 of our token and, the next evolution stage of my new meme coin that I launched. Interesting concept as it is, and not a huge application yet. They have like 8,600 followers on Twitter. They call themselves the future of social trading. It's a fun thing, but I wanted to share this mainly because I think it's good to see projects like them migrating from Base to Solana blockchain.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, bullish for Solana.
Yeah, congrats to the hire team. Welcome to the dark side.
Exactly.
Some other interesting news. I don't know how to feel about this. This has the makings of another Haktua, but obviously not on the same scale. But I know he's been writing on Twitter for a long time. His name is Sichi Chen, if I'm not pronouncing his name incorrectly. But Sichi's daughter, he's been I think a technical writer on Twitter for a very, very long time. And his daughter got cancer. And he's been writing about it a lot on Twitter. And some developers, or I hate to even call them developers, some randos created a meme coin inspired by his daughter, and then gifted Sichi half of the supply. And at some point, that supply was worth like $15 million. Like, obviously, there's not enough liquidity for him to actually extract $15 million worth of value. Even some of your favorite tokens, on Solana don't have that level of liquidity. I mean, especially not for one trade. You wouldn't be able to pull out that much value. So, but anyways, at some point that allocation was worth several $million. I'm actually not quite so sure what the status of this is. Cool or not cool? What's your verdict on this, Simon?
I think it's cool. You know why? Because that's the power of crypto attention. You can derive like huge financial value just by capturing the attention of millions of people in the world. Like, what other technology did that before? Like he literally did a fundraise basically for like a donation fundraise for his daughter. I think that's how it started as well. He just asked for money on his crypto wallet. People started sending money, and he had like hundred thousands of, I think, couple 100K already of donations. But then the guy with the meme coin started, and then I saw a screenshot with 18 mil at the peak. He woke up with 18 mil on his wallet. He was like, guys, what happened? That's crypto. That's the power of crypto. You just need a compelling emotional story that captures attention in the internet, and that will translate in literally financial value. So pretty interesting as a concept. And I don't think it's negative in that sense right now.
I don't like that he only got 50% of the supply. I'll be honest with you. There's something that bothers me about. Now, what was the other 50% used for? Well, obviously, some portion of that is just going to be liquidity, right? And then like another portion of this. I don't know. I feel like the correct allocation to give yourself, if it's a token for someone's daughter who has cancer, and furthermore, someone who doesn't understand how any of this works, right? I think the correct allocation to give yourself is 0%. Like that's the ethical thing to do.
We don't know what happened with the other 50, right? Like it might. I don't want to, put out assumptions here, because I think the other half might be just trading. It's circulating supply. I mean, the CTO probably has something.
Okay. Well, hey, I could be wrong about that, but I mean, just my experience in this space tells me
the point you're making. The point you're making makes sense. But then at the other side as well, you need to look at the US value, the US dollar value of that chunk. Like even if Siki just got 1% of the total allocation worth 1 mil that he could cash out immediately. Yeah. Like where does the money came from? Nothing. Like he literally got it from nothing, and for him it can change his life. So, and that's pretty cool. And you need, like, you cannot have a token or meme coin trading with 80% of the circulating supply in one wallet. It doesn't work. Even the 50 is a lot in one wallet. So it would probably be more healthy to give the guy only a couple percent, and then have the rest trading, in the market with a lot of holders that are just trading it. It is kind of an ethical thing an ethical controversy. I'm not going to lie, but I think like the phenomenon itself is just very interesting. Raising money like that.
And a huge counter argument to what I'm saying is like, hey, would you rather that Sichi has 100% of a token that's worth nothing, or 50% of a token that's worth millions? And I don't really have a good response to that, by the way. Like that's where my brain starts to short circuit. But like, just
exactly.
my general response is, my feeling is that, like, if you're doing this for charitable reasons, and I'm sure that there's some charitable aspect to it, like,
Yeah,
it just also feels wrong to be like making any money
money
off of that. But like,
off.
knowing the
Yeah,
space, of course, it's all
yeah,
like, hey, if I can help change your life, but also help change my life,
yeah. Might as well.
I'm gonna do it.
Win-win. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Interesting story.
Yeah. Speaking of changed lives, and this is also a little bit one of the curses, I think, of being a builder in the space, is that you meet a lot of cool people.
Yeah.
And in my experience, meeting Max in person, I very much love him, and I very much have grown to like him over time. Um, I mean, I liked him the first time I met him. He was also
Who's
always
Max?
very
Who's Max for
oh
everyone who doesn't know?
yeah, no, I sometimes I forget that not everyone is like listening in. I mean, some people are watching, but like some people might be
Exactly.
listening. So if you're listening, yeah, Max is the founder of Mango Labs,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
Mango Labs was obviously one of the OG protocols on Solana, funded by SBF and kind of
Hmm.
like the FTX cabal. I don't mention them to like put shade on Mango's name. Actually, it's quite the contrary. At that
Yeah.
time, when the majority of Solana projects were being incubated by FTX, like the Solana projects that mattered, they were being incubated by FTX. Mango was one of them, and Mango was one of the
Hmm.
few that actually survived even after post FTX. But even after they survived FTX's collapse, they got in the news because they were hacked by some dude in America. some
Mm.
some I think Jesse Eisenberg or something. So I think that's the name of the actor that played Mark Zuckerberg. But anyways, that doesn't matter. Some guy.
Some guy hacked Mango back in the day.
Yeah, for several $1 million. And
Hmm.
since then, it's just been a struggle. They've been in court trying to reclaim the funds. Fortunately, I
Mm.
think they got something like 90% of it back. I was actually
Wow.
there on the night that Max won that court case. He got very drunk that night,
Oh.
and
Oh.
he was very happy, and I was very happy for him.
Wow.
But yeah, long story short,
Hmm.
Max is leaving Mango Labs. There's been quite a lot of controversy between Max, Daffy, and Tyler, who are
Mm.
the
Yeah.
co-founders of Mango Labs. I have
Mm.
not done my homework here. I am biased, so I will
Hmm.
kind of stop here. But
Yeah.
happy to like kind of what your thoughts on. There's also been claims
Yeah.
from Daffy from even September, right,
Hmm.
of
Hmm.
impropriety. So yeah, there's a whole lot a lot of mudslinging going around here.
Yep. It's a big story, I think, that we could cover deeper, but I just want to highlight what happened here, because it's kind of a crypto drama that happened with Mango. But I think I also don't want to accuse people because we don't have any proof really of anything here, right? But what happened is, status quo right now is that Max, one of the co-founders of Mango, is leaving. He's leaving Mango behind. And I think there are several reasons to that. But definitely one of them is the controversy that happened back in September when Daffy posted a message to the proposal, or he basically posted his proposal to the Mango DAO on Twitter, where he stated publicly or accused publicly that Max was also involved, besides another person, in some fraudulent activity inside of the Mango Finance DAO. And that's like the TLDR of the story. Basically, he got accused of taking money that didn't really belong to him, and we don't really know what happened really behind it. But for people who are interested in it, Daffy is his handle. He posted a pretty good thread about that, and we can also link that in the show notes to kind of have people read the full story.
I mean, I almost feel like Mango is one of the last of the Titans. I mean, like, obviously there are quite a few OG Solana projects remaining, but like Mango was one of definitely the giants of last cycle. And it's such a shame, to kind of see this is where the DAO is at right now. I also have some some pretty good friends who are working at Mango. Love everybody over at Mango. Hope you guys are all right. And thanks again for another exciting week, Simon. Like I was just talking about this the other day. I don't know who I was talking about this with. I almost feel like it was a family friend, but he was like, "What are you up to these days?" And I'm like, "Working on a podcast." It's kind of like my main thing right now. And I'm like, I'm so glad that Simon and I are different in personality, because like I don't think I'm as structured as you are, but I do well with structure that someone else creates. So if someone else creates structure, like I'm very good at like kind of plug and play, like what you need, right? Whereas like I'm not so great at creating that structure myself. And like very much my brain is all over the place, as you know, which is kind of good for finding topics.
That's what you are, you know. But that's how teams in general work the best, right? Find people that complement your skill set, that are kind of kind of a counterweight to how you work. But yeah, every single week we're trying to give people the roundhouse kick of Solana updates, how I want to call it. Basically what happened in the space, what new product launches go on, and we're doing this on a weekly basis. So everyone who's tuning in here, make sure to follow us on YouTube, subscribe to the account over there. Also follow the podcast channel. So you can do that in your favorite podcast app. It could be on Apple, it could be on Spotify. And we're just getting started, ladies and gentlemen. Sol Brothers is recording the 9th episode right now, if I'm not mistaken. So we're almost at 10.
I'm starting to feel more comfortable with these episodes, you know, like I'm feeling like we're starting to get a groove. So and like we're almost at the fabled 20. All right. This is the quest to 20. We'll be in the top 1%, or was it like the top 0.5% of podcasters in the world?
No, we're on it, guys. Stay tuned. Every Monday we're recording, so you can join the live streams as well on our X accounts. Right now we're streaming usually on YouTube, Sol Brothers, and Eno's and my own X account. So people can join the live stream, whoever is in here right now. GM to everyone, and thanks for joining this last 2024 edition, Eno, because next episode that we're going to record next Monday is already going to be a 2025 episode.
Can't stop, won't stop, baby.
With that being said, guys, Happy New Year to everyone. Enjoy the last days here. Thanks everyone for dialing in as well and tuning in wherever you are on the world. And yeah, we'll see you guys at the next one when it's time again for Sol Brothers and a deep dive in the Solana ecosystem. Peace out, everyone.
Adios. Bye.